Welcome to Soul Yoga Online. We hope you enjoy your virtual experience.
Thank you for welcoming me into your home, wherever you're practicing today. I'm very excited to be here, back in the studio, and having this opportunity to guide you through a practice. I wish we could be together physically, and I'm sure just in a matter of time, hopefully that will be the case for all of us. But until then, what a gift that we can all share this practice still together in this way. So we'll be going through an hour-long practice of gentle yoga for stress. And I would invite you to really allow this time to be anchored in nourishing yourself and honoring your own needs and just tending to your body, your physical body, your emotional body, and whatever you need to feel supported. So we'll go ahead and begin in a comfortable seated shape. You can bring a blanket or a yoga block or large book underneath your hips if you'd like, just giving a little bit of comfort and elevation, bringing the hips just a little bit higher than the knees. The legs can, of course, stay cross-legged, or you might extend them out straight or come into a different shape. And just start here, allowing the eyes to soften or maybe close. Taking a moment before we invite some movement in the body to bring awareness into how we're showing up on the yoga mat right now. Yoga is about connection, about connecting us deeper to ourself, our breath, present moment. I invite you to know here that any movement is welcome anytime, as well as just remaining in a little intentional stillness. And we'll begin to just notice your natural breath here. Notice how the inhales fill and create space within you. And that big sigh of relief that comes with each exhale. Your exhale is an invitation to drop a little more deeply into the safety of your yoga mat. Into the safety of this present moment. Beginning our practice just with a little mindful meditation here. The opportunity to check in with the many different types of intelligence within us. We might begin by scanning the physical body. Without any need to label anything as good or bad, just simply noticing. Searching for areas of spaciousness. Areas where maybe there's a little or a lot of sensation. Maybe you're already aware of where you might be holding in the physical body, where there might be gripping or tension. The opportunity to invite some softness and some space and breath to those areas. Knowing that if it feels challenging or difficult to connect to any areas of the body right now, that is okay. You're just softening around those spaces. We have to know where the body is holding on before we can begin to let go. Soften the features of the face and across the shoulders and chest. Maybe with an exhale, the shoulders drop a little heavy, releasing a little holding. Feeling the movement of the breath up and down the lungs, smooth and even. Releasing any gripping or holding in the area of the belly. Inviting the hips and the pelvic floor to get heavy here. Just feeling this cemented quality connecting you to your mat. And we'll take a swallow in the throat, maybe take a couple rolls of the neck here before we move into checking in with the emotional body. There might be a need to switch the crossing of the legs or support your back against the wall or maybe extend the legs straight out long. It's really honoring your body and your needs here, letting your comfort be your number one priority. Coming right back into this little check-in here, just briefly. Let's take a breath in and sigh it out. And with a lot of compassion and kindness toward yourself here, checking in, if you'd like, with the emotional body. Again, without needing to label anything here, just noticing what you're holding and what's present. Remembering that even feelings of anxiety and overwhelm and stress are just sensations in the body. And if you're feeling anything that is feeling challenging here, notice if you can invite yourself to sit and be with yourself through it. Extending some kindness inward. Maybe setting the attention to just stay with yourself through all these sensations, all these emotions that we experience in our lives. And we'll take another breath in and exhale to let it go. And start to release the weight of the head here. And if the legs are extended out, you might come into a cross-legged shape here. And we'll round the spine, releasing the weight of the head, allowing the chin to tuck down toward the sternum. Just inhale and scrunch the features of the face as tight as you can, and then exhale and invite everything to soften. And a couple more times like this. Inhale, scrunch and engage, maybe even make fists with the hands. And exhale to soften. Notice As you're moving through this practice of contraction and softness, if you can feel into how those sensations show up in the body. And we're tight and contracted compared to when we're spacious and relaxed. We'll start to slowly open through the chest, lift the chin, little cat's tilt here. Then exhale, round the spine. Just like cat pose on all fours in table, except when seated here. Center of the spine rounds, reaching back, tucking the chin in. Inhale to open through the chest into your cowl, tilt the spine, lift the chin, feel the openness, the space here in the chest. A couple more rounds here, just moving with your breath, feeling into this rhythm of breath and movement. One more time. And we'll start to work our way down to the yoga mat here. So we'll get us into the first posture, and then I might come back up to a seat to help guide you through some of the more subtle cues of the shape. So you can go ahead and just invite yourself to really be in your own practice here, in your own body, knowing that your body is your best teacher. Right? If anything feels uncomfortable or a little shift, a little prop, something would support you, really invite you to take direction from your body here. So we're going to come down onto the back body. And beginning to just land here in a little mini Shavasana shape. Extending the arms down to the sides and be feeling into the verticality of your body here. Taking a couple breaths in and out, letting yourself land here. There's great healing when we can just feel the support of our mats, of the earth, whatever is holding us up. This space below us that is reliable and always there to support us. So you might take a couple moments here before we come into our next posture and just notice how much of the weight of the body you can give to the floor. What muscles are still at work that you could let go of? Where could you breathe in a little more space in the nooks and crannies of the body? Perhaps noticing how it feels to allow your mat to hold you. And when you're ready, we'll start to bend the knees here, coming into constructive rest pose. Face this way here. You're going to bend the knees up toward the ceiling. The feet will come to the outer edges of the yoga mat. So the pinky edges of the feet are touching the edges of your yoga mat. And then the knees will fall together, supporting each other here. We'll give a little shift, if you'd like, in the hips and the shoulders, just to consider creating a little more space where you can in the body. And then the left hand resting at the heart, and the right hand resting at the lower abdominal area. Taking a moment here to notice any shifting, any movement that would support you in this posture. And perhaps noticing where here the body has contracted. And if those spaces could soften a little more release could happen. And the invitation here to close the eyes or soften the gaze. We'll remain in this posture of constructive rest for a few minutes. So just allowing yourself the time to release. You might begin to notice your breathing and that natural inclination to invite the breath a little deeper. We'll begin here with your breath, if you'd like, to begin working your inhales into your lower form. So you can feel the belly rising up toward the lower hands. As the breath fills all the way up toward the chest. And the exhale is moving down as the chest deflates and the belly draws in toward the spine. Following this full breath cycle, we're completing with our Dirga 3-part breath here. Using all 3 regions of the lungs, nourishing, supporting, and soothing us. And as you notice the mind wandering or wandering off, you might just keep inviting it back if you'd like. Allowing this nourishing pranayama breath practice to begin supporting you into more of a rest and digest part of the nervous system, activating that part of the nervous system, soothing the mind and body, supporting the lungs. Taking just a few more rounds here. Being mindful to fill the lungs in all directions. And taking care to empty your lungs completely. So every time you exhale, it's an opportunity to detoxify. To let go of stuck energy, whether it's energy that you are carrying of your own, or maybe energy from another person or situation that needs to be released here. Feeling that release with your exhale, trusting that a formal release is happening here. And as you're ready, we'll start to just change the arm position. So there's a few choices and options here for you to consider. You can certainly stay exactly as you are if you'd like. We'll just be in this other shape for a moment or two. You might take the arms out to relaxed cactus arms or field goal post shape. The arms and hands might extend out to a T shape, allowing the whole chest to open, the heart center to shine forward. Or you might even bring the arms overhead, bringing the fingertips toward each other in more of a diamond shape. Feeling into the shape that you've chosen and maybe the corresponding sensations that come with it. Noticing how just one shift in the body creates many shifts throughout all systems within us, all areas of the body affected by little shifts, little movements. We'll take another breath in and let it go, just letting the mind and body know we're transitioning into a new shape. From here, the knees will come closer together, walking the feet together. We're going to find our way into a supine twist. So the arms might stay where you have opened them out to. We'll bring the knees off to the right side. The head will turn off to the left, rearranging the arms however you'd like here. A nice option to support the body is to take a blanket or a pillow, either placing it below the right knee or maybe even in between the knees. And you can take as much time here as you need to really modify or amplify or build your shape however it best supports you. And in this supine twist, we'll keep the knees lower than the hip line. So just bringing awareness into the physical space of the knees and inviting them to move lower than the hip line if they're not there already. Noticing where the body still needs more support and taking the time to support it. We'll be here for probably a minute, so you want to feel that you can sustain this shape with sensation, but of course without any pain. Just allowing yourself to settle here. And having the knees below the hip line, it's just allowing us to kind of target the organs of our liver a little more than some of the other organs. And this is an organ that really helps with detoxing. Can you return back to your breath here? You might be noticing your natural flow of breath. And just allowing yourself to linger in that field of expansion and contraction. Noticing the subtleties, temperature of the inhale versus the exhale. And if following or noticing the breath is feeling challenging for you right now, that's okay. You might just give your mind the job of being the commentator here. Silently repeating as you inhale, I am breathing in. And as you exhale, I am breathing out. And trusting that present moment thinking will eventually deliver you to more present moment feeling. Remaining here in the supine twist for just another few rounds of breath. Inviting your left shoulder and chest to become a little heavier. And feeling that gentle line of stretching from the left underarm all the way down to the left hip. Maybe you can even feel that line of energy down across the left thigh. And we'll take one more breath in, really filling up, exhaling completely, and beginning to find your way out of the supine twist. Take the knees into the chest here and give them a little squeeze, really drawing the knees in, maybe even swaying a little right and left. That might feel good for the head to turn side to side, or maybe the feet flex and the heels press forward, separating the toes wide apart, feeling the shin bones engage here, space at the soles of the feet. You might even extend the legs straight up toward the ceiling and roll up the ankles. I'm just inviting movement here that would support you. So this can really look different for everybody. As our energy changes, our emotional body, our physical body, we always show up on our mat differently, every practice. And then as you feel ready, let's land our feet to the mat. Reestablish your foundation here for a moment. And then we'll take the knees off to the left. So sometimes it can be helpful to just give the hips a little bump up and then land them back down. Again, here, rearranging your props to best support you. So a blanket or a block below or between the knees might feel good here. And the option to extend the arms in any shape that supports you, and maybe even turn the head off to the right. So allowing there to really be an inquiry here for the building and progression of the posture. How the posture feels at the very beginning will change so much by the time we get to the end. So really honoring this early stage of the posture by taking the time to shift and rearrange and set yourself up for success here, to feel the most nourished in your experience. Sometimes I find it helpful even just to do that same physical scan of the body and notice where I'm still tense or holding on, and just invite yourself to soften. And we'll be here for about a minute. Allowing this time to connect inward if you can. In moments when you feel yourself lost in thought or feeling a surge of unpleasant emotions or sensations, you have the choice to stay. Support yourself through those moments. The choice to return to following the breath, feeling into the sensation of the body. Knowing that either of those choices are okay and helpful. And if you feel uncertain, just let a deep breath out to cleanse the system. we slow down like this, we start to see and understand that the body is very connected and integrated. By bringing stillness and nourishment and space to the body, invites stillness and nourishment and space to the mind. Just another few moments here, connecting to your breath, to what is here in this moment. Every out breath, an opportunity to relax more deeply. Releasing more of the activities of the mind. We'll come into a counter stretch here before we start to change our posture. So let's start to either come back to bringing the knees into the chest, or you can return to a little mini Shavasana here and maybe take a big full body stretch, awakening the body a little bit more. Notice what would support you. Maybe some deeper breaths or big movements in the limbs, the back might arch up. Really just allow the body to direct you here rather than the mind. Yoga is so personal and self-defined, really speaks to the language of the body. So inviting yourself to be present to that language. And when you're ready, we'll start to turn off to the right side. I'm just inviting here a little supported fetal pose posture. You might support the head with the right arm. I'm going to move this candle because I think I'm coming a little too close to my hair. That would not be helpful for yoga for strength. Just feeling into the support of your mat once again here. And this is a really great posture, I think, to connect to our breath, especially in the side body, that more lateral expansiveness of the breath. You can use the yoga mat or whatever you're lying against to feel into the right side. As you inhale, that resistance as it presses inward or out toward the mat, and the exhale softening in. And then at the left, when you inhale, feeling into how it rises up, all that space to expand and then soften into center. And really start using our breath more completely in the lung space more completely. So good for the immune system. Many systems of the body benefit. So just take another breath here. You might scrunch the face on an inhale, soften it on an exhale if that feels good. With all the sinus pressure, allergies right now as well, we can hold a little bit more stress in our face. It can be a nice way to release a little of that tightness. And then as you're ready, we're going to come up and find a tabletop pose. So in tabletop pose, I really like to suggest using a blanket underneath the knees. This is just a nice way to support your knees, especially if, like me, you're on a hardwood floor. Gives you a little bit extra cushion. So we'll come on to our tabletop pose. So in table pose here, we have our knees directly stacked below the hip points, and the shoulders are stacked above the wrists. Beginning to just gaze down, we'll look at the hands and separate the fingers nice and wide apart like starfish. Let's just for a moment drop the weight of the head so you can peek between the knees and see if you can line up the feet with the knees. Great. And then bringing the gaze right at the midline of the mat so the crown of the head is facing forward. Nice long line for the spinal column here. We'll come into a little activation of the body, feeling into your strength. Press the mat away with all the areas of the body connected to the mat. Right, notice that inclination to drop the weight of the head or anything here that you're feeling. Just be present to what you can. Keep pressing the mat away. Keep breathing. Notice where you feel spacious, where heat might be building here. Right, if the wrists are tender, you can always come down onto the forearms here. There's always another way in our yoga postures to support us. So again, listening and honoring your body's needs. So from here, we're going to start just with some circles here. Some big circles, bringing the shoulders forward of the wrists, and then the hips reach back. Getting some movement here in the body. You can take this big or small. You can stay in stillness or in another posture. Right, notice if you can start to build a few layers here to your experience. Can you feel the breath? And as you feel the breath, can you notice the mat supporting you? Maybe even notice where you feel sensation in the body. Reverse the direction as we pay closer attention to finding that body, mind, breath connection. Eventually slowing the movements, coming into your stable tabletop pose. Right, lining back up, little alignment check here, knees and hips, wrists and shoulders. We'll take the right leg and extend it back. You're pressing the foot into the wall. And then the left arm will take to the belly here. Again, you can modify however you need and see if you can connect to a quality of balance. Feel the breath below the hands. Maybe the hand stays here, feeling into the breath, letting that ground you and anchor you. Or maybe you extend that left arm, really reaching. Pressing the mat away with the right hand. Option to bend the right knee. Option to reach the left arm up. Maybe you come all the way back and catch the foot here. Maybe not. Everything is optional. One more breath in and out. We'll slowly find your way back to table. Let's take the knees wide. Wide in the hips, setting up a child's pose before we come to the other side. So in child's pose, the knees come wide in the hips. We'll bring the hips back toward the heels. Arms extend straight down, releasing the head down to the mat. We'll stay in child's pose for maybe 10 breaths or so. So something to notice here is if the hips are elevated pretty high away from the heels and you're noticing a lot of weight of the body being held by the head, you might prop the head with your forearms or a blanket or a pillow. You can always make little or big adjustments here. And just taking a few moments here to notice the moment on hand. Allow your breath and attention to expand into the throat, and the chest, and the upper back. Notice where there's resistance here. And extend some grace to yourself. And as you find 3 more breaths here, notice pause. These moments of being out of the more dominant thinking mind and into our more intuitive being mind. Knowing we need this balance, this slowing down. And as you're ready, taking your time, pressing yourself up to your tabletop. Rearranging here on your mat. So again, lining up the knees and the hips, lining up the wrists and shoulders, nice long line here in the spine. Gaze down between the hands at the midline of the mat. And we'll extend the left leg out. Taking the right hand when you're ready to the belly. Breathing. Embracing any of the resistance here that you can. We're all likely a little trembly as we're balancing here. Right? Refinement is a process. The body is learning, strengthening. It's something to celebrate. So all the trembling, the resistance sometimes is something to really embrace and celebrate. Maybe that right arm reaches forward and you just take a big, long stretch here. Reaching, making yourself as long as you can. Option to bend that left knee. Maybe give a little kick up in the heel, feeling the left glutes engage. Maybe the right arm reaches up and back, catching the foot. Maybe not. All of this is optional. If you have a hold of the foot, really opening through the chest. You can kick the foot into the hand to open through the right shoulder. And then releasing, right hand comes down. Give a little shift here in the hips. And we'll start to transition into a toe stand here. So I'm going to move my blanket off to the side. So if you're still in tabletop pose, we'll just walk our hands toward the knees. I'm facing this way so you can see. The heels are lifted here. The hands can certainly stay down on the floor to support you. It's a pretty intense posture. So just know that intensity is normal. Right? You might sway a little forward and back. You can see if you can get that elusive pinky toe, little sensation rolling side to side. And then let's just round the spine here. Lift the hips up a little bit, still on the toes, heels are lifted. Weight of the head heavy, maybe shake it out. Let out a couple sighs of sound. Release a lot more stress with a little sound in the exhale. And then when you're ready, coming back up. Again, this is a great place to bring blocks below the hands or books, right? Anything to support you. As you're comfortable, heels are still lifted, tucking the toes. You might work to elevate the shoulders in line with the hips. Hands can rest on the floor, on words out here, blocks, or maybe at the top of the legs. And we'll soften the gaze, maybe the eyes close here. Every posture in yoga is an invitation to experience a balance of effort and ease. Notice the effort is there for us on purpose here. You can feel into that. Where can you invite some ease? Maybe it's in the breath, face. One more breath in and out. Soften the shoulders. Great. And then the hands can come down, untuck the toes, maybe scrunch them up a little bit. We'll work our way to standing. So take your time. Big transition here. We'll find our way up to a standing posture. Just invite being comfortable here, maybe bending your knees, rolling out the wrists, the ankles. You might just look around a little, take in some color, some light and shade, just helping yourself ground here in this new shape. Feeling down into the feet, maybe even peek down at the feet and see the support of your mat below you, remembering it's there to hold and support you here. We'll build our mountain pose, Tadasana. Feel the feet connected here to the mat. Roll the shoulders up and down the back body. The weight of the body coming primarily into the heels here, allowing the knees to unlock. Lengthening through the crown of the head, feeling space across the right and left shoulder, chest broaden. You may bring the arms down, reaching the palms open. Allowing the space between the teeth to grow. The lower jaw falling a little away from the upper jaw. Where our awareness goes, our energy flows. Notice if you can bring your awareness down to the feet, out of the mind, into the body. Feeling your feet grounded, connected, rooted here on the mat. Standing meditation here, we have two opposing lines of energy that run through the body. An upward flow of energy in the front body, and a downward flow of energy that runs down the back body. We'll play with a little visualization here with your breath if you'd like. As you feel your feet on the ground, we'll inhale and imagine the in-breath starting at the front of the feet, moving all the way up to the crown. And the exhale down the back body, rooting, anchoring you down to the heels. Finding your own rhythm here. Maybe you visualize a protective shield surrounding you with this breath. Visualizing that upward and downward flow, maybe feel into it. Couple more rounds of breath here. When you're ready, you'll bring the hands together at the heart. Anjali Mudra, gesture of peace, balancing the two hemispheres of the brain. Just allowing this soft touch of the edges of the fingers with a pocket of space at the center of the palms. Breathing in and out. Just add a little movement here. Inhale, arms reach up. And exhale, down the midline. Moving with your own breath here. Knowing this can look different for all of us, you might start to take the feet a little wider, maybe the arms reach back and up, you might open the heart. One more breath in and out. Just a pause here. And then as you're ready, start to transition back down to the mat. You can come into a crocodile pose here. So lower down to the belly. And this will be our template pose for the next couple postures. So as we come into crocodile pose, which looks like this, we're down on the belly. We'll give a little shift in the hips to create some space between the hip points. The hands stack below the forehead. And we'll just rest the forehead down. Sometimes taking a temple to the hands or rearranging the shape can be helpful. So feel free to play with any adjustments that you need to here. And just in this posture alone, we're creating a nice amount of space in the lumbar spine, a little back bend happening, right, supporting the kidneys. So we'll stay here in crocodile pose for a moment, and maybe you bring the big toes toward each other and the heels fall away. Just creating a little additional space in the sacral area, the sacrum and the low back. Just beginning to feel the breath pulsing at the abdominal area. You might visualize a balloon here. So as you inhale, like the lower abdominals, the balloon filling, and then exhale, slowly deflating. Just this little pulse of breath. Breathing in and out of this lower area of the lungs, so good for the nervous system. A couple more breaths here. You can stay or return to crocodile pose anytime. We'll just come up from here to our Sphinx pose. So if you'd like, a couple of options. We'll come up onto the forearms first, so the elbows come below the shoulder points, and the palms are down, so your fingertips are at the edge, the front of your yoga mat. This is a pretty big stretch for the back. If this feels too intense of a stretch, no problem. You can just walk your elbows out as far as you like or you're able to, and maybe support the head and the hands. And even if it doesn't feel too intense, this is very nourishing and very grounding. You may just try it out and see which of the two variations serve you better right now. If you're on your forearms, or release any holding in the ribs. You might take A little movement in the neck, rolling into some circles. Maybe the head even drops heavy there. Again, coming back to that feeling of pulsing in the breath in the belly. And whatever variation you're in here, crocodile pose or a variation of Sphinx pose, you can always press the tops of the feet down on the mat for a little more grounding. Also to tone the legs a little here. Sphinx pose is just a really great stimulator for the kidneys. When we are feeling depleted, we can work with helping our kidneys rebalance and our energy systems become more vibrant and revitalized. We can feel a little healthier from an energetic standpoint. Just a few more moments here. Relaxing the jaw, face. Trusting that when we pause, we are creating a greater container for healing. We provide the body time to repair and renew. Give us the great, simple pleasure of just a nourishing exhale. So from here, if you're in a more active yin with the forearms lifted, or the more active sphinx, pardon me, with the arms lifted, let's all meet either in crocodile or maybe take a pause on your way down with the elbows walking out in front of you, feeling the support of the head and the hands. And those of you in crocodile pose, maybe you want to try the elbows forward and just feel if this supports you for a couple breaths. And the option to bend the knees wherever you are, just let them move a little, the feet roll out, feel into the ankles. Notice how that subtle movement in the feet can be felt throughout the body, even the breath impacted. And then we'll start to shift back to our back body. So you can take your time here, come up in the seat, come right out to the back, whatever feels good. Just take a couple breaths, feeling right where we started, that support of the yoga mat. And when you're ready, the knees will come to the chest, bringing the feet to lift. Maybe turn the head right and left. We'll inhale and exhale. Maybe let the knees move a little away from the body on an inhale and draw them in on an exhale. Supporting the organs in the belly, digestive system. We might come into some legs reaching up to the ceiling, or maybe a little happy baby drawing the soles of the feet like they're stamping up to the ceiling, knees toward the side. So noticing what last movements you need before we find Shavasana. And when you're ready, we'll come into Shavasana, finding your most comfortable, most nourishing shape. Oftentimes in yoga classes, it's cute to lie on the back, but I believe that when we feel safe and nourished and comfortable, we are going to find the most relief and integration and support from our practice. So whether you're lying on your back or your side or seated, whatever feels good for you, just let yourself land. Giving yourself permission to savor the last few minutes of class. As you breathe, creating more space in the body and the mind. And spending as much time as you'd like here in Shavasana that you can. And when you're finished, thank you so much for sharing your practice with me. And I look forward to the next time I am able to guide you through another practice. The light in me sees and honors the light in you. Thank you.
Visit us online at soulyoga.org for details on a private session or public class. Namaste.